Welcome to MTI Investment Hub in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. I'm Pontus Engstrom, CEO of MTI Investment. We have recently made an investment in AML Finance here in Tanzania of about $500,000 with an interest rate in local Tanzanian shilling of 19%. The duration is 3 years. This is a convertible debt loan, which we of course hope we will convert. So I thought I'd take the opportunity to invite here the chairman and founder of AML Finance, Mr. Reginald Massawe. Welcome.
Thank you so much for inviting us at MTI Investment. And it has been a pleasure working for you for the last few months to try and establish this relationship, which we hope is going to go far from where we are now in many ways. As you mentioned correctly, my name is Reginald Massawe. I'm the founder and the CEO of AML Finance Limited. So thank you so much for inviting us.
Thank you. So tell me a little bit about AML Finance and how this got started.
AML Finance started in 2010, and I was working for a bank for a couple of years, and I saw that there was opportunity in this industry in terms of adding value to the community, but also it was a very good economic venture. So we set up the company and my family 2010 with about $500,000, and now have moved from there to about $7 million, and have set up a very good ground for growth, and hence we're looking for some partners to bring in more support, more funding, so that we can move to the next level.
Sure. And so if you start about the first funding, the first phase of funding your growth phase, how were you able to do that? Has that been all sustainable through the performance of the bank, or have you had to seek more funding from family or friends?
Yeah, it was a combination because we had some saving from the family, but at the same time we had to get some loans from friends and relatives and other people who were interested. So we borrowed at the beginning to try and set up a small fund to revolving fund, which we worked with, but we paid off the loans for the people so that we ensure we are able, the equity of the company is well under control. So yes, it was a family saving, but at the same time we have to get some support from other friends who gave us loans.
So how is AML performing, and what sectors are you mostly working with?
AML has been performing very, very well for the last 14 years. We have moved from $500,000 to now $7 million, as I mentioned correctly. And what we are doing is to concentrate our market niche around construction industry, education industry, trade and commerce, and of late we're also looking into industry areas, but also we finance people who are employed in the corporate organization with a product of salary-based loans.
Okay. How does salary-based loans work?
It works very well, and that's the easiest one because it is the source of payment is quite directly. You can measure it, you can see it, so it's performing very well. But the competition is very strong in that area.
Sure.
Yeah.
And so, tell me, how does a typical why does a client come to AML Finance? What is a typical service that they are looking for?
Most clients are actually looking for working capital in the sense that it's a short-term loans they are looking for, and I'll give some examples. The construction industry, we have contractors who are getting contracts from the government to construct, for instance, a road, and they don't have the initial capital to start off the projects because they get paid. So what they do, they come to us, we give them the loans, they start the projects, at some point they raise invoice and they get paid and they pay us. Okay. Another example could be for a school where you see that during the beginning of the term, schools are collecting school fees, so they are very liquid. But as the term continues, the liquidity drops and they cannot continue running the school without money. So they come to us, they get short-term loans, say 1 to 3 months. When the schools open, they pay us back.
You mentioned that there is a stiff competition in the banking sector, yet a lot of the banks seem to be performing well. CRDB and other banks are having very high profitability. What are the sort of forces at play in the microfinance and the banking industry in Tanzania? What is driving the performance right now, and how do you see the competition evolving? And also how does it you see it benefiting you?
Right. So the key factor now in the competition is the turnaround time, because the banks are very conservative in terms of giving the loans. So we are there kind of giving alternative to the banks, because if we apply for a loan from a bank, it will take 1 to 2 months, but for us it takes about a week. So yes, we charge a bit of premium interest for that quick loans. So the competition is stiff, but still we have a very good competitive advantage in terms of our turnaround time, where we can give loans within 2 even to 1 day for repeat clients. Looking at the industry now and the future, I think I would say for now banks are not really directly our competitors because of the factor of customer service and also turnaround time. We serve the same clients, but that factor is clearly distinguishing us from the bank. So yes, competition is going to continue, but also the opportunities are going to continue. The economy is growing quite steadily, but also the business environment is improving, and the population is increasing. So there's a competition, but still there are also opportunities that are coming with the competition. So I see ourselves being able to compete quite well in the future.
Yes, and with MTI investing with you and providing this loan, this convertible debt loan, which we hope we will be converting, and if the bank continues as it does, we should be converting that in 3 years. But what are some of the things you look forward to in our collaboration?
We are very appreciative for the cooperation that we have had with MTI, and we have been talking for a couple of years now, but finally we are very happy that we have been able to conclude a deal. And part of our need actually is the funding to grow the business. But basically that's not enough. Also want to leverage on the international market, international practices that we can get from you. So we are looking forward into getting more funding in the future, but also at the same time exposure into the international practice, into international policies, international whatever it is, to ensure that we are able to operate at a slightly higher level than where we are now. So we are looking at things like if we have a policy, environmental policy, can we have somebody from Sweden to come and, or perhaps we can from there say perhaps you should do this or that, so that we get another view from another world, kind of, so that we can be more competitive in the market.
Yes, and tell me a little bit maybe perhaps about the developments of the banking industry here. How is technology changing? How are people doing banking today? Is it you walk into a bank office, or do you have more like smartphones and you do your banking online? How does it work, and what are the trends?
That's interesting, and I can start with my own experience. When we started 2010, 2011 until 15, I used to move money physically in my bag from bank to bank.
In your bag?
When a client asks for money, you have money in different banks. If you do the transfer, it will take 2 days. So you have to carry money from one bank to ensure that the bank that you are paying has enough money. But for now, I rarely go to the bank because most of the things we do on the online. So the bank is changing very fast. The industry is changing very fastly in terms of the quick movement of money online. But at the same time, people are using phone now to get money transferred from one point to another. So the technology actually is making life a lot easier in many ways in the bank. So digitalization of processes. If you go to the bank now, you will see that there are fewer people than they used to be there then, but also you see that the services are faster than before. And we hear a lot now in the media about the future of banking, and perhaps it's going to be very different. Maybe 80% of what we see today will not be there, and it's a bit worrisome of how we can prepare for that situation. Maybe we would have only one staff in the bank to do reconciliation, the rest is online. Meanwhile, we also hear a lot of fraud actually in Tanzania and even in other countries. There's a lot of technology that people are using to fraud the banks. So we are preparing both for the opportunities. At the same time, there are also risks associated with the opportunities.
Interesting. So when you see the opportunities for your bank and the growth going forward, is this going to remain around loans and insurance, or do you see also your services going into other areas, even security, or do you see other opportunities around this because of your need that's actually creating opportunities for new businesses around banking?
Yeah, I think we have been answering that question quite a bit.
Yeah.
And we say we want to focus on what we do best.
Yes.
And we could go into other areas, but we still feel like we haven't done enough what we are doing now.
Okay.
So for the next short term and medium term, we're going to look into what we are currently doing, which is financing and insurance. Maybe in a longer term, we'll be looking into other options that are actually available.
Okay. So thank you, Reginald, for this brief introduction to AML Finance. And we look forward to this collaboration and to hopefully also seeing you up in Sweden in the near future. So thank you very much for coming to the Investment Hub. This is not the last time that we spoke to you. And we look forward to continue the conversation and work with AML Finance.
Definitely. It was good talking to you, talking about the relationship between AML Finance and MTI, and we are looking forward into even a stronger relationship in many ways. Thank you so much.
Thank you.